Have you ever taken a perfect trade? The analysis was clean, the entry precise, yet you still lost? That's not the market punishing you. That's your emotions, disguised as logic. Every trader starts with the same dream: freedom, consistency, control. But somewhere between your first win and your first blown account, you realize something harsh. It's not about predicting price. It's about managing yourself. Trading is the only profession where you can be right and still lose money. Why? Because your behavior changes the outcome more than your setup ever will. Professional traders don't chase being right. They chase clarity, control, and composure. That's what separates the 5% who survive from the 95% who vanish after a few emotional trades. Every candlestick carries two stories, one on the chart and one inside your mind. Fear when the market moves against you. Greed when it moves your way. Doubt when it pauses. You don't trade the market. You trade your reactions. Dr. Brett Steenbarger once said, "Markets are mirrors reflecting back your strengths and weaknesses." Think about that. Are you analyzing the market, or is the market analyzing you? This moment, right before you click, is where 95% of traders lose. Not because their plan is bad, but because their mind isn't disciplined enough to follow it. Ask yourself right now, if I removed all emotion from my next trade, fear, greed, hope, how different would my results be? That question alone can change your trading life. In this series, we're not just decoding charts, we're decoding you, the trader behind the strategy. By the end, you'll know exactly how to identify, manage, and master the 5 emotions that silently destroy most traders. Because once you learn to control your emotions, you don't just trade better, you think better, you live better, and you win longer. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset, because the market rewards mastery, not madness. You've heard it before. 95% of traders lose money. But here's the real question. Why do they keep losing even after learning every lesson? It's not about strategy. It's not about entries or exits. It's about repetition, emotional repetition. The 95% don't fail once. They fail in a loop. Every time they blow an account, they promise to start fresh. New system, new mindset, new discipline. But as soon as they face pressure, the old patterns return. Because habits built on emotion always override logic. You see, the market isn't random. Your reactions are: fear of missing out, greed after a win, revenge after a loss. They come back like muscle memory, turning experience into illusion. Dr. Brett Steenbarger calls this the behavioral echo. Your mind repeats whatever gave it emotional comfort, even if it hurt you before. That's why 95% of traders can memorize rules, but never master themselves. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, "I won't move my stop loss this time," and then moved it anyway? Not because you wanted to, but because your brain refused to feel that pain again. The truth is, you're not trading charts. You're trading chemicals: dopamine, cortisol, adrenaline. Every trade becomes an emotional slot machine, and until you break that loop, your results won't change. Professional traders don't avoid emotions. They understand them, they journal them, they measure them, because what gets measured gets managed. 95% of traders want control over the market. The top 5% seek control over themselves. Ask yourself honestly, how many times have I traded the same mistake, just with a different excuse? Awareness is your first weapon. When you see the loop, you can step out of it. When you name the emotion, you can neutralize it. This isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. You don't have to win every trade. You just have to stop repeating the emotional ones. The 95% trap ends the moment you stop acting out of habit and start acting with intention. Because consistency isn't born from strategy. It's born from self-awareness. And now that you understand the trap, it's time to confront the first emotion that keeps you stuck inside it: fear. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset, where we trade awareness, not impulses. Fear. It's the first emotion every trader meets and the last one they ever master. It hides behind logic, disguises itself as caution, and whispers, "Don't lose again." But here's the truth. Fear doesn't protect you. It paralyzes you. Every trader begins with excitement, the thrill of the first win. Then comes the first loss, and suddenly confidence turns into hesitation. The next time you see the same setup, your brain remembers the pain, not the plan. That's fear, the ghost of your past trade haunting your next decision. Professional traders understand something most never do. Fear doesn't leave. It transforms. It shifts from fear of losing money to fear of missing out, from fear of entering to fear of holding. Every version pushes you away from discipline and into emotional reaction. Dr. Van K. Tharp once said, "The market is not your enemy, your fear is." Fear makes you cut winners too early, move stops too close, or skip perfect setups. And every time you listen to it, you strengthen it. Ask yourself right now, how many times have I exited a winning trade, only to watch it hit my original target? That's fear pretending to be control. The brain reacts to uncertainty like physical pain. Your amygdala fires, cortisol rises, and before you even think, your finger is on the exit button. You didn't make a decision. Fear made it for you. But here's the edge the 5% know. Fear is data. It's not an enemy. It's a signal. It shows you where your trust in your plan ends and your emotions begin. The pros don't fight fear. They observe it. They use it as feedback to refine their process, not to ruin their trade. Every time you feel fear, ask one question. Is this fear from risk or from memory? Because fear from risk keeps you safe. Fear from memory keeps you stuck. You can't delete fear, but you can retrain it. Replace reaction with response. Replace panic with process. Once you understand that fear is just your brain trying to protect you from the past, you stop running and start trading with awareness. Fear destroys most traders, but when you face it, analyze it, and use it, it becomes your greatest teacher. Greed, the emotion that starts as motivation and ends as destruction. It whispers in your ear after every win, saying, "Just one more." And before you know it, you've turned a good trade into a bad habit. Every trader dreams of growth, of catching that perfect move. But the truth is, greed doesn't look like greed when it starts. It looks like confidence, ambition, or opportunity, until it crosses the line and takes control of your decisions. You win one trade, double your size on the next, ignore your rules because this one looks perfect. But the market doesn't punish greed instantly. It rewards it first, just enough to make you believe you're invincible. That's the trap. Greed hides behind short-term success. It feeds your ego, blinds your logic, and convinces you that discipline is optional. Warren Buffett once said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful." But most traders never see which side they're on. They're too busy chasing what's already moved. Think about it. How many times have you entered late, not because your plan said so, but because your mind screamed, "Don't miss out"? That's not opportunity. That's insecurity disguised as hunger. Greed turns trading into gambling. It replaces patience with pressure and planning with impulse. Professional traders respect one rule above all. Never let a profit make you careless. They scale out, not in. They protect capital, not ego. Because in trading, the only thing more dangerous than losing money is making it the wrong way. Ask yourself right now, am I trading to grow my account or to feed my emotions? If you're honest, you already know the answer. Greed isn't just about wanting more. It's about refusing to be satisfied with enough. And in markets, enough is what keeps you alive. You can't eliminate greed, but you can channel it. Turn it into curiosity, not craving. Let it drive your improvement, not your impulse. The moment you master that shift, you stop chasing trades and start attracting results. Greed destroys silent and slow, but awareness exposes it before it wins again. Revenge. the emotion that turns traders from professionals into gamblers. It's the fire that starts with frustration and ends with destruction. It whispers, "You can win it back." But every trader who listens loses twice: first money, then control. You see, revenge trading isn't about the market. It's about your ego refusing to accept defeat. It's your pride saying, "I can't be wrong." And that's when the market teaches its most expensive lessons. After a loss, the mind doesn't seek opportunity. It seeks relief. That quick entry after a stop-out isn't strategy. It's pain looking for closure. Your brain floods with adrenaline, convincing you to act fast before reason can speak. And just like that, the cycle begins. You open a new trade, bigger, riskier, angrier. You're not trading charts anymore. You're trading emotion for validation. The irony? Even if you win, you lose, because you've just trained your brain to connect anger with action. Mark Douglas once said, "When you're angry, you stop seeing probabilities and start seeing revenge." That's the moment discipline disappears. Every trader's downfall begins with one thought: "I'll make it back." But the pros know, you never make it back. You only make it worse. Ask yourself, am I trading to win or to prove I was right? If your answer is the second, you're already in the trap. Revenge trades feel powerful. They release tension, they restore ego. But underneath, they destroy process, patience, and perspective. The longer you chase the loss, the further you drift from consistency. Professional traders deal with revenge differently. They don't fight it. They observe it. They pause, breathe, and step away. Not because they're weak, but because they're self-aware. They understand the difference between reaction and response. So the next time you take a big loss, do this instead. Don't click, don't analyze, don't chase. Just stop and ask, what is my emotion asking me to prove? You'll realize, revenge isn't about recovering capital, it's about recovering pride. And pride doesn't belong in trading. Discipline does. Revenge trades don't fix your loss, they multiply it. But when you break that pattern, you reclaim your edge. Because true strength isn't fighting the market. It's walking away when your ego screams to stay. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset, because awareness is your weapon, not aggression. Overconfidence, the silent killer that disguises itself as mastery. It sneaks in right after success and whispers, "You've figured it out." But the moment you believe you're untouchable, the market reminds you, no one is. Every trader dreams of confidence, but few know the difference between confidence and arrogance. Confidence is earned through discipline. Overconfidence is borrowed from luck. And when luck runs out, so does control. After a winning streak, your brain releases dopamine, the same chemical that gamblers feel after a jackpot. That rush tricks you into thinking your results came from skill, not circumstance. You start increasing size, ignoring risk, breaking your own rules, because your ego says, "I can handle it." But the market doesn't reward ego. It exposes it. You begin to see patterns where none exist. You stop journaling. You stop reflecting. You believe you're in sync with the market, when in reality, you're drifting away from discipline. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "Don't be a hero. Don't have an ego. Always question yourself." That's how professionals survive decades while overconfident traders vanish in months. Ask yourself right now, am I confident because I have a process or because I had a good week? That question separates traders who last from those who flash and fade. Overconfidence feels powerful. It makes you believe you can control outcomes. But trading isn't about control, it's about adaptation. The market doesn't care about your analysis, your streak, or your feelings. It only cares about probabilities. And probabilities don't respect pride. When you're overconfident, you don't see risk. You underestimate it. You stop managing losses because you think you've mastered the game. That's when the game masters you. Professional traders stay humble because they know the truth. Certainty is the most dangerous illusion in trading. The moment you stop questioning your trades, you start betting against yourself. Confidence gives you courage. Overconfidence gives you blindness. So the next time you catch yourself thinking, "This can't lose," remember, that's not confidence speaking. That's your ego wearing a crown. Stay grounded, stay curious, and stay disciplined. Because in trading, humility isn't weakness, it's protection. Overconfidence isn't just a mistake, it's the setup before the fall. Doubt. It creeps in silently after every storm. Not the doubt of the market, but the doubt of yourself. You've studied, practiced, and planned. Yet when it's time to act, your hand hesitates. You're no longer afraid of losing trades. You're afraid of being wrong again. Every trader faces this phase, the collapse of confidence after the fall of overconfidence. It's not the market that changed, it's your belief in your ability to trust yourself. You start second-guessing every setup. You close trades too early. You switch systems, searching for something that feels certain. But here's the truth. Certainty doesn't exist in trading. Only probability does. Doubt is heavy because it comes from knowledge without trust. You know what to do, but you can't pull the trigger. Your mind replays old losses like a broken record, and every new opportunity looks like another trap. This is where most traders quit, not because they lack skill, but because they've lost connection with their own conviction. Dr. Brett Steenbarger once said, "Confidence in trading doesn't come from being right. It comes from handling being wrong." That's where growth begins. Ask yourself right now, do I doubt my strategy or do I doubt myself? If it's the second, the solution isn't another setup. It's self-awareness. Doubt isn't your enemy. It's your signal to recalibrate. It's the mind's way of saying, slow down, reflect, realign. Professional traders don't try to erase doubt, they respect it. They use it as a checkpoint, not a roadblock. They journal, they review, they rebuild confidence through evidence, not emotion. The truth is, you can't eliminate uncertainty. You can only grow stronger under its weight. The more you face doubt, the lighter it becomes. Because every time you take a trade despite fear, you prove something deeper. That trust is stronger than hesitation. You don't overcome doubt with perfection. You overcome it with repetition. Every disciplined trade you execute is one brick in the wall of confidence. Doubt feels heavy because it's meant to test your foundation. And when you pass, it turns into quiet strength. So when you question yourself next time, don't ask, "What if I lose?" Ask, "What if I learn?" That's the question professionals live by. Trading isn't just about charts, risk, or profit. It's about mastering yourself. You've now seen every emotion that rules the 95%. Fear, greed, revenge, overconfidence, and doubt. Each one disguises itself as logic, whispers like a friend, and ends like a thief. But when you recognize them, you take back control. The real professional isn't the one who never feels these emotions. It's the one who understands them. Fear taught you awareness. Greed showed you restraint. Revenge exposed your ego. Overconfidence revealed humility, and doubt rebuilt trust. Together, they form your emotional compass, the internal map that keeps you centered no matter how the market moves. Most traders look for perfect systems. The best traders build emotional systems. They don't trade from the gut. They trade from grounded awareness. Every click, every decision, every loss becomes feedback, not failure. When you master your emotions, you stop reacting and start responding. You see opportunities clearly because your vision is no longer blurred by fear or ego. You manage risk calmly because you understand that protecting capital is protecting your future. You build consistency not by chasing profits, but by respecting process. Remember this, the market doesn't reward brilliance, it rewards balance. It doesn't need you to be fearless. It needs you to be self-aware. Paul Tudor Jones once said, "The secret to being successful is surviving." Survival comes from discipline, not luck. Discipline comes from mindset, not motivation. Ask yourself, am I trading to impress others, or am I trading to improve myself? If the answer is growth, You've already stepped into the 5%. Your emotions will never disappear, but they'll start working for you instead of against you. Fear warns you. Greed drives you to plan better. Doubt reminds you to review. Revenge pushes you to reflect. Overconfidence teaches humility. That's integration. The moment when you stop fighting emotions and start learning from them. You're not here to trade like everyone else. You're here to trade like your best self. And when you do, your performance will rise, not because the market changed, but because you did. Subscribe to the Trader's Mindset. Join the movement of disciplined, aware, and confident traders, because profits fade, but mastery lasts forever.